See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYT Podcast. My name is Taisha Hines, and this is my show where I'll explore the ins and outs of the world around me. You can tune in every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Hey everybody, you're tuning in to DBYT Podcast with your host Taisha. This week we'll be getting into the college life and different aspects that you may come across while you're here. The goal for this episode is to help upcoming and current college students have the insight that we didn't have when we came in. I want to give a big thank you to those who continue listening and supporting my podcast. With that being said, let's get into it. Well, hi everybody. I'm here with Tiffany today.
Hi everyone. My name is Tiffany, as she mentioned.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about college/school tips.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to get into is the friend aspect of college. Usually when people go to college, the expectation is finding lifelong friends and, finding, buddies for forever.
Yeah.
I didn't find that. Honestly, since I am a senior now, I can definitely say that's a bunch of baloney. Mm-hmm. But this one right here, I will say that because she's the real one. She'll keep you on your toes, and she don't try to steal your men or sleep with your men or any of that sort, like the fake stuff. So I appreciate that.
That's the bar. Then I'm glad that I at least meet that. Yeah, I would say that it kind of depends on. I don't know. I'm definitely the person. I always keep my heart open for friends because I do love meeting people. But I definitely understand why people are closed off the idea of meeting friends because it is kind of, first of all, it's hard to put yourself out there. And then there's so many terrible people that it's like, if you end up being vulnerable with the wrong person, it could end up making you close that door forever. So yeah, but I met a lot of great people, you included. And yeah, it's just, I feel like I have met some lifelong friends, but like I said, there are a lot of people who are open, who have closed that door, and I understand why.
I think mine started off weird, or different than most people, because most people from high school, they separate themselves from their high school friends, and everybody usually goes to any other college. But me and my friends, we decided to do something different, and we all came to the same school. It was a great time, great fun time. We always tried to make new friends, but nobody wanted to be our friend, unfortunately.
I wish I could have saw that. But
we were definitely trying, and it just wouldn't work. It was just like, y'all want to be our friends? And it's like, yeah. And then it's like, we never see them again. So it was like weird. We felt dorkish, kind of. Okay. And also, the stigma of when you get your roommates and you're supposed to be real close. Tried that out. Didn't work.
That is, I feel like, is a lie.
That is a setup.
I'm so happy for people who can be best friends with their roommate, but it's not for everybody.
I tried to be nice because I was like, I'm already not used to sharing a space, and now this size room is so much smaller than my room at home. So I'm just like, I have to share with another girl who she's very comfortable with doing whatever, whenever. So it was really, it was a change. Yeah. But anyways, if you can find good people while you're in college or make good connections, stick with those, because those people, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I would say one of the best ways to meet friends is through classes. That's how I met all my Hugh, Sante, and one of my best friends, Kinsley. We all met through classes, and it's hard to move friendships from the classroom to the outside world, because it's when like I said, people are very closed off, so it's awkward to be let's hang out. But I feel like I've forced this friendship, but I'm because I'm we had class for 1 week, and then
I wouldn't say 1 week. I say because I stopped taking the class at that midway point when they were all right, y'all can withdraw and it won't count against you. Well, it's a W, but it won't be I forgot what it's called. But basically, but yeah, you could do that. And that's what I did. But I will say, I think, I don't even remember when we started being friends. All I know, we were going to the
I
gym.
remember.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Inform me.
Okay.
Jog my memory.
Yeah, well, I saw you at that party that one time. I was like, oh my God, she's so cool. And like, cause I instantly knew, like when we started talking, I was like, I want to be her friend. That's how,
we did go to the gas station.
We went to the gas station because I was like, I went with, or I guess I was gonna say our mutual friend, but Sante.
Yeah.
And like some other people, and like they were all on her. I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, it was just weird. So I was like, let me just go. And I saw you twerking on Sarah, and I was like, wow, she just out here in this ass party acting like it's not hot.
Yo, we was in there looking like glazed donuts. I swear that,
bruh,
the AC was not working.
It was not, and then I was like, yeah, I want to go outside. I don't know. One of us initiated going outside, and it was like, wow. And that was one part, and then I saw you in the student union one day, and we ended up talking for like hours about just like random shit. And it was just like, I don't know, like I was like, I want to be her friend. And then
it was definitely connections. I do remember the party, but I didn't know which one came first. Yeah, I was like, because y'all forgive me, it's been years.
Your memory is selective.
It is very selective, but when I do get the memory, it's playing, it's going through. Okay. I think that it was cool that we had the common interest of computer science and like techie stuff. You know, sadly I had to change.
I should have. To be honest,
it was a difficult time. It was like I was going through trying to see which class to drop. It was like either drop this CS class or drop this calculus, because either way I ain't doing good.
So have you had experience, like speaking back on classes, have you had experiences meeting other friends in classes, and like what has your experience been like trying to meet, like talk to people in class, or what is your typical format with that?
Well, it's different from when you get into your major classes, but I will say the ones that like your core classes and everything, I met Joseph that way. I met him in sociology, and then we started like we weren't hanging out all the time, but as we kept talking, we was like, okay, I do a podcast and X, Y, and Z. He wanted to be around more, so we clicked in on that level. Trying to think of anybody else like off the top of my head. I met Quan through him, and the rest of the people were from my major. So if I talk to them, it's more so mass media related.
What are you doing that assignment?
Yeah, honestly. Or can you help me with this assignment or whatever. So what has been your experience with Joseph when y'all like started, like it started in the class and y'all met there? Definitely. But then like when did it become like, oh, let's hang out? I want to say when I started the podcast, because I started the podcast in like the ending of September, beginning of October, and we had just met in August, obviously. So it didn't take long. It took maybe a month. We weren't too social, like going out to parties or anything. Yeah. We never did y'all that. Don't party anyway, so. No. So we didn't do that, but we did bond through that. And then when December came and I had lost my sight, he was there a lot for me, taking me out the room because I couldn't see. Yeah. So, he was my eyes, literally. So, yeah, that was me and Joseph's. And then, everything else is history. Yeah, that's interesting. Do you have anybody like that, like that you met in the classroom besides me? Yes, Sante. I met her the first day, like, of biology class. Like, that was the first day of class ever. And we met, like, she's very social. Like, she's the type of person who can, like, start a conversation with anybody. Mm-hmm. So she definitely started a conversation with me, and then we became friends. And then I didn't think our friendship was going to last, because I definitely was not, like, when I first entered college, I had zero friends. Like, I had nobody. And so, like, it was, like, I had to learn how to be, like, social. That's why I'm, like, so socially awkward, because I'm just, like, it's just interesting, like, yeah. And then, like, I have my other, like, really close friend, like, we met in class. So it's just, I don't know, like, when it became, like, let's hang out outside of class. Like, Sanjay was kind of easy because she was always out at that point. But, like, my other friend, I forced that friendship, too, because I'm just, like, when I connect with people, like, I feel like I need to keep that person. Otherwise, I had to do that to my sister. Well, she's my sister now, Mm-hmm. But Nani was the type of person she wouldn't talk. I met her in 6th grade. And it's, like, from 6th grade to about 7th, 8th grade, Like, I just was forcing it. Like, I'd be like, hey, what you doing today?
Oh, my God. You that person?
I was that person.
Oh, my God.
It was like, I just felt like we had something there. And I was like, she may seem shy now, but I can break through to her. And I would just talk to her even if she wouldn't talk back. So sometimes I'd be talking to myself, but that's okay. Like, she was so cute. And I was like, bro, we're meant to be sisters. Like, you're gonna be in my life, and I don't care. So I used to sell her Skittles at school. Yeah.
Okay.
So she became a customer, and through that customer buyer seller relationship, it was just like, it was meant to be, bro.
Yeah.
And we just grew up, and we still in each other's lives, and I love it.
Okay, so you're the drug dealer who like smokes out the cute girls because you're like, there's potential there.
But not for free, though.
But okay. So she started to pay.
Oh yeah, definitely had to pay. Definitely.
Interesting. Wow.
The late nights in college. That can go one of two ways. You can either be living your life, or
What? I was thinking you meant late nights in the library.
Yeah.
Or studying.
That's when you think about ending your life, because, honey.
That's a good point, because it's like, it really, it's humbling, spending all those hours in the library only to get like a mediocre score on a test.
Don't even. Or when you spend weeks and weeks and weeks on something, let's say a project, and then you barely pass, and you think you did good.
Late nights.
The emotional labor.
The physical. The stress in your head, like, you're barely getting sleep. You're sleep deprived at this point. Like, you don't even know what to do with yourself. You're barely eating, or you overeating. I'm a stress eater. If I get to the point where I'm just like, oh my God, what to do? I'm finna be snacking.
Yeah.
I can't even help it, and it's crazy. But I don't like late nights. I like to take that time, that one little piece of the night, for myself.
Okay.
But unless it's absolutely necessary, I guess.
But I think like the best moments can happen like during those late nights where you're just like, well, not maybe not the studying part, but like I think sometimes when we were doing like the recordings and it was late and it's like, let's go to Waffle House. Like that was fun. And like, I don't know, it can create those like special moments you don't forget. But it's woven into like some very stressful moments. So you really have to think like, is this college stuff worth it? Is it really worth it?
Or when you first come and you try to be a party animal. And you already taking about 4 or 5 classes and you thinking like, oh, this is just like high school. But then you forget the simple fact that you're probably in school for a accumulated like 3 months compared to the 10-ish months that you would usually get.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I didn't have a lot of party moments, like especially in my first year of college, so I didn't have to worry about that. But like, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that I would say all college students, or most college students, have to go through in order to realize you have to take it seriously. Otherwise, you're going to.
Yeah, and you're paying for these classes, so you don't take it seriously. What is donut? They do not care.
They will put you on academic suspension. And you can explain to your parents why you cannot return to a school that has a requirement of a 2.0 GPA.
Yeah, and you just don't meet that.
Yeah, like, your average is not what it is. So it just, I don't know. But I think the freshmen who realize that after their first semester messing up, they make it. But the people who like end up like, oh man, I can risk another semester. Those are the ones who don't come back.
Because they think they have time, and honestly you don't. They trick you into thinking that like, oh yeah, take your time, you can go undeclared. You don't want to do that. If you can get your path as soon as you can, do that, because you're gonna be wasting time. You're gonna be thinking that you can take all these classes, but little do you know, Hope ain't gonna pay for it past I think 120 hours.
Oh yeah.
My first year here, honey, we lost hope. We lost hope in a journey that was supposed to be filled with wonder. Let's just say that. I was taking a history class. We had 2 grades in it. We had midterm, we had final. Needless to say, I suck at history.
Oh, wow.
Also, it was a Tuesday, Thursday class. He canceled all the Tuesday classes off the bat. I should have known that was the trap. And then that was the season of, what is it, hurricanes?
Okay.
He was canceling even more classes. he would say, oh, I'm going home for, I think it's Memorial Day or Veterans Day or whatever day it was. He was canceling the Thursday classes. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. We took the midterm. I did okay. To that final, done. Absolutely not. It was so horrible.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, I cannot believe I just got finessed out of this. Like, this an old man. He done got paid. He don't care nothing about us.
No, they don't. I mean, like, I'm not going to say teachers don't care. I think once you reach those major classes, that's when they care because they recognize your face. They're like, this person actually cares to a certain point. I mean, you could argue that that's not always true since a lot of people in your major who are finna graduate don't care. But I would say that, like, your freshman classes, they don't care. They don't know your face. They don't know your name. They just know if you failed, you failed, and that's it.
And they still getting paid.
So it's like, it's an unfortunate truth. And I think a lot of times knowing that you are here to learn, and if you just can prioritize a majority of your work, maybe you can get like a good C, B, whatever. If you're looking for average, you can get that, but you do need to prioritize to a certain extent. Otherwise, you're going to fail, and you're going to explain to your parents why you cannot go back to a school.
Yeah,
And that's sad. You don't want to do that. You don't want to waste your time nor your money because you could be out there making something of yourself.
literally, there's so many other things you can do other than be here, but
It's also other options because
That's
school
what I'm
is
saying.
not the only option.
It truly is not. But if you're going to come here, prioritize. You can balance hanging out with friends and prioritizing class. Like, you can balance those things.
And having a job
Because
because we do it.
we definitely do.
So
Whether or not we work hard, that's none of your business.
Look, that's none of your concern. We're gonna get into finding love and hooking up. Okay, so dang. I've only had one boyfriend while I was in college. We were together a good year and maybe 2 months. We talked majority of my years here. We still talk. Like, we cool, you know. I will say at times for me it wasn't working due to the long distance, and it felt like I was basically online dating at that point. I didn't enjoy that. I enjoyed seeing him and being with him in person, but when you two go to two different schools, it's like, dang, this is like elongated. Like, it's torturous. I don't like it. So that was my experiences with love. Also, when I first got here, I thought that this boy was going to be my boyfriend. Not my boyfriend who was my boyfriend for that year and some, but another boy. I met him. He was Jamaican. He was cute. He was tall. Like, yeah. No. He didn't like me like that. Because he thought that maybe if we do X, Y, and Z and do this and that, and I do boyfriend things and I get the boyfriend, title, we good. No, I wanted him to be my mans. He didn't want to be my mans, but I had to eventually accept that after he stole my blanket and wouldn't give it back.
But you got it back. Oh.
okay.
I didn't.
I'm so sorry.
I am sorry because I spent a whole year trying to get it back.
And you know what? There's many other blankets I'm sure looked exactly like it.
His friend told me he had it still. He literally described the blanket to us because his friend was actually talking to one of my old friends, and I asked him about it. I was like, so have you been in X, Y, and Z's room? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, have you seen any blankets? He was like, the gray one? I said, oh.
So it's still there.
So it's still there,
It is still serving its purpose, just for the
wrong person.
Interesting. But that does kind of bring up an interesting point that within college circles, you don't see a lot of people defining their relationship. You do see a lot of people who are maybe together in their own sense, but there's no in their own way, but there's no like defining the relationship. But you ask people, well, is that your girlfriend, boyfriend, da 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 da, are you dating? It's like, no, what? Why would you like? But why is it such a big deal to define a relationship in college? And I don't understand that.
I had the misconception that coming into college, I was like, well, if people want to be here, they will want to make a better way for themselves because that's a decision that they made. But I fell short of the glory because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. People's parents do force them to come to college. So the person I was one of those examples. His mother
was a doctor or a nurse, I can't remember, but he was in that same medical field. I would literally be in my room and he's there too, and he would be like calling his mom like, "Mom, what's the answer?" And I'm like,
What?
huh?
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
So it was very weird.
That's an interesting way
To finesse your way to a degree.
but I honestly support it. If I knew something about computers, oh, trust me.
On the phone 24/7.
I mean,
it was a weird time in life, but I mean, nonetheless, I do appreciate all the traumas and dramas that I've been through with men, because of the fact that it makes me a better person, it makes me more aware of things that could happen or has happened, X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you think that like in college, if you were to choose between the two, do you think that people should come in with the expectations that they'd probably be more towards hooking up, or they should lean more towards finding a relationship within college? If they had to choose between the two, obviously there's the choice of staying single.
Mm-hmm.
But if they wanted to explore one of those things in college, which, you know, college relationships and college hookups are kind of like
The thing.
they are a thing. They are very common. So like, and there are not a lot of people who aren't in college who aren't looking towards somebody or like with somebody in some capacity. So
I would definitely say that if you are into the casual sex or a hookup realm, you need to just be safe, because everybody is sleeping with everybody, and that's not making it safer for you.
we all swiping through the same people on Tinder. I literally, they all the same. Every time I get back on that application, it's the same motherfuckers. I'm like, we all in the same boat.
Personally, I would want a relationship if they were on campus. If they were on campus, I would like to see them. I could be with them when I need to. Obviously, we have separate rooms, so I can be isolated when I need to, and I can see when I need to. So that would work out best for me. But like, I mean, hey, you do you. Just be safe when you doing it, because
Truly.
even if you're in a relationship, we all know that everybody is capable of getting cheated on. So just be safe. Make sure y'all getting y'all checkups.
You know.
yeah,
Be responsible.
And also, everybody is capable of getting STD. No matter how many sexual partners you had, you should consider getting regularly checked. And you should also not feel uncomfortable asking your partner to get checked, because that is one of those things that you may feel pressure to not do because you're like, I don't want to seem unsexy, but it's like, being safe is sexy.
Being clean is sexy.
So it's like, you know, prioritize your health to, you know, in all ways, and that is one of the main ways of staying healthy. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna shift on to depression and mental health. Personally, I have not been depressed in my life. I have been overwhelmed and sad at some times, but I wouldn't consider myself being depressed, because there are people who actually go through depression, and I've seen it on multiple occasions in other people, and it makes me sad sometimes because I don't know how to help them. And I'm like, I know depression isn't something that you could just like get over, because it's in here. But it's like, I wish I could help, you know? Like, I suggest like either, you know, walking or trying to clear your head as best as you can. I write, so a lot of my emotions and like thoughts are being written down on paper, or I'm typing it up, some way to get it out my head. But actually dealing with it firsthand, I can't even speak on it.
Oh. I mean, you can speak on it by like association, like you've seen people experience it, you have the outside perspective. So I know that like it helps when you're experiencing depression that somebody can kind of give you some kind of foresight of like the bigger picture in a way, because it's like when you are in the depression bubble, you can start to think very like, I don't know, like a spiral
Dark.
of like dark, and then there's no view of the bigger picture because you're so focused on the things that are making you upset, or like this depression that's consuming you.
So,
I've talked to someone and they told me that they don't know where their depression comes from. And so like me trying to be a person without nitpicking, I tried to dissect them as we went along. So I'm like, is it school? Is it your home life? Is it the lack of, you know, love you're feeling? Like how I don't understand, like I want them to understand that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, is it that you're overwhelmed, that you're being depressed, and that you're thinking like too far into it? Like, oh, if I can't get somebody now, then I'm never gonna get somebody. I'm gonna be like this and that. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm thinking about my family. If I can't graduate college because I can't do this and this, it's like I feel like it's a rabbit hole inside their head, but they're not seeing it like I see it because I don't experience it. But I feel like maybe that is a source of it, because I'm like, everything happens for a reason, right? Like, for example, if we're happy, there has to be something, even if it's so small, that's making us feel that way, right?
Well, I think that like the ability to experience happiness exists within us. This is like the whole spiritual thing, but like I think that like all emotions already exist within us, and like the fact that we can go from like feeling, you know, neutral to feeling excitement, and then like we can go from excitement to feeling sadness. Those feelings already exist within us, and that kind of is powerful in a way, understanding that, because you have the ability to, theoretically you would have the ability to bring out those emotions
Right.
whenever you would like, because they already exist within you. But I don't think that it's that easy. It's definitely not that easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think when you have depression, that like your brain, there's something in your brain that is not allowing you to see past that moment, and so it can quickly lead to like, well, what if I didn't exist anymore? It would be better if I died. I could just kill myself to avoid this issue. And so your brain's not working like somebody who can analyze the situation and be like, well, this is an easier solution than ending your life. And so it's just, I don't know, it's weird to think about it, because I mean, I do experience depression, but right now I don't feel depressed. So it's like hard for me to even think about who I am when I am experiencing depression, because I feel so separated from it when I'm fine. And so I don't know, it's definitely a very complicated thing. But I think within college, when you are experiencing depression, I think finding those people who are able to, you feel comfortable talking to, is like a first step. And if you don't have that person, there are free resources on most college campuses that will allow you to express yourself and allow you to communicate the things you're going through. But leaving it to yourself, that is literally like what depression will gear you to do, is isolate yourself. But that is only like deepening yourself in that depression. And although it may not seem rational at this moment to go and seek help, it is the most rational solution, because you are just consuming yourself in depression for no better reason than just to be depressed. And so it just, it's complicated. But I think just finding someone to talk to, even if it's just like yourself, and like expressing all the things you're feeling at that moment, like that is a huge, like that is self-therapy. But it's just, I think a lot of times it's hard to think of rational solutions, things that are safe,
especially when you're going through it.
Yeah, so
I've talked to people in my life, one of them being more close to me. She would tell me like she just glad that I never gave up on her, glad that I was always around, even if she wasn't talking, or even if she wasn't like being herself. She would be like, I'm glad that you stuck around, because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what else to say besides like, you know, just sitting there and just being there. So she would say that. Recently I talked to somebody, he would tell me like, you just being here is enough to at least not feel alone while I'm alone in my head, you know. So your physical being is enough right now. Organization, something I wish I would have been a part of.
Hey, it's not too late. Just because after college there are still organizations that exist for adults, and that's the best way to network, honestly. So, you know, finding your way in there. But networking also exists in college, but I mean, these people ain't got shit going on.
No, seriously, like there was a club that I wanted to be a part of. I was very excited. I paid my dues. I went to the meetings and everything, but it just wasn't what I thought it was supposed to be.
It was sharing the club?
ASL.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in college at the time, and I would go, and actually me and Sante would go together. And
really?
We didn't know that we were going together until we got there and was like, oh, you're here. And it's like,
wow.
I like to learn stuff, and I just didn't learn what I thought I was going to learn. So that was a fail, but it's okay.
Interesting.
So, have you had any positive experiences with clubs in college? Or
one organization that I wanted to join once upon a time was banned from campus. So I really got uninterested in the whole idea. Like, I just, oh no, that's not absolutely true. I joined the radio club the same year.
Oh, yeah.
I joined it, and next thing you know, Corona came. So
Yeah.
I couldn't share all my thoughts and processes because it was like different people who did podcasts and everything. And I was one of them. I was new. I was trying to share, I tried to share my ideas, but my friend Joseph that we spoke of earlier, he would come to the meetings with me and he'd be like, she has a podcast. And I'm just like, oh, we doing that. Like, I didn't know he was going to call me out like that. And they were like, okay, so what's it about? And I'm like, life. I'm shocked because I'm like, yo, I don't know what the other people have going on. I don't know if their stuff is better than mine. Yes, I was a person to compare myself and my startup to other people because I'm like, oh, these mass media people know way more than me. But as I went along, because I was semi-new in this program, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
No, they look to me for guidance most of the time.
But it's interesting. I think that's like the position a lot of black women hold in fields like that are like most fields are dominated by white men.
Yes.
But we automatically kind of like think that we're below them in skill or we're not as skilled as them. But it's like in reality, I think the fact that we are two times more driven to learn, we end up on top because of that, because they don't have that pressure to be the smartest person in the room because they are automatically assumed to be. So I think it's interesting, like how your mind is shifted from that, where it's like, wait, I actually know more of these people. Like, so it really,
because I actually came into this program as the new person because I didn't start off here. I started off in CS, so it was like I didn't know anybody. I felt like everybody already had their cliques and everything. So I just felt like, especially my first semester, I felt like I was getting the lower end, like the remains, and it was a difficult time because like the slack that they had, I had to pick up all the time just to make sure I didn't fail. Yeah. And I'm already like, I've been like that for a long time, so where it was like, oh, I have to make sure this is perfect. I have to make sure this is done. And it was very stressful to work with those type of people.
Well, you made it this far.
Yes.
And hopefully there are more competent people in the professional world, but that's something we have to discover on our own.
I also want to go back to you said with us having to work 2 times harder. Like the other day we were in class and my teacher said that really her, I guess, position, I don't know what to call it, but it's Dr. Blank. And she told me that it's so many people that don't have a doctor's degree that get approached as Dr. something something, but call her Miss whatever. Yeah. And it's like, it's weird, but it's like not out the ordinary. But
no, it's not.
And I think the thing is, like, the fact that, like I said, I mean, she has to basically announce the respect that she receives. And it shouldn't be that way, but it is. And I think, I don't know, as we constantly learn, like, learn new ways to, like, not necessarily prove ourselves, but to
make people see our worth. Because she definitely went through all her years of school and definitely deserves to be approached as Dr. whoever.
Yeah.
It just, because I would be mad too if you only got an associate's degree and somebody calling you Dr. X, Y, and Z and you just looking like, well, what about the actual doctor in the room?
Yeah.
So I have mad respect for her. For even like approaching people and like letting them know like, hey, it's not Mrs., it's Doctor.
Yeah, definitely. I think,
especially, I mean, I would assume that this is more so geared towards, well, I'm gonna say black women. I think we should, or black women of color, we should try to assert ourselves, even though we maybe we don't have that doctorate degree, but let it be known that we demand respect. We demand to be talked to like we know what we're talking about, not that condescending.
Mansplaining junk. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it is so common. But it's like, if you just learn to say, hey, I know what I'm doing, or be like, no, I don't need your help. Those things, they speak so loud. Like they those little moments of just being like, I know you're assuming that I'm dumb, but I know what I'm talking about. So just finding those moments where you can like assert your dominance in your field, they can make a lasting impression on your professors, on the people around you, and just like ultimately for like the future of young women of color. So it's just,
yeah,
that is some good points. That's some good points, bro. Seriously. Cause the power that we hold throughout our whole body, bro, like we really be in here doing the thing.
Like, and the fact that these mediocre, not to man hate, but this mediocre man can have so much confidence just naturally, and I respect they can have their confidence, but we should have that confidence as well. Knowing more than them, knowing just as much, we should have just as much confidence.
And we should be getting paid just as much, if not more, because
exactly.
Honey,
diversity quota.
Hello.
But it's like, yeah. It's just
having that confidence, even if you don't know what you're talking about, just have that confidence.
Pretend like you do.
Yeah,
they can
exactly. They can do it. We can do it too.
Yeah, because they definitely be. Because they don't be knowing what they talking about.
The last topic that we want to get into for these last little few minutes is living the life that you want. Just thinking about it out loud. Nobody can tell you how to be you. At the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do. You're going to say what you want to say. And don't let nobody even put in your mind that you don't know what you're doing. Because who are they? That everybody always speaks on the things that they wouldn't do or wouldn't tolerate or wouldn't say. That's a lie. They're not in your shoes. They can't tell you what is best for you. Only you can, right?
exactly. Pure
honor. But yeah, I'm very big on that. If you want to go back to somebody, or if you want to get another degree, if you want to get a certification, if you want to start your family, if you want to buy you another house, if you want to buy you a car, do that. Set your goals up and do that thing,
Yeah.
I would say I agree. I think definitely moving from living with your parents, which some people have really good relationship with their parents, so it's like not even a big deal. But I know like a lot of people, they experience a thing where they moved out from their parents' home, went to college, and when they went back, it was like, wait, this is the stuff I put up with when I was living at home, like when I was in high school. Like this is the type of like condescending type of things they would do, belittle me, treat me like a child, which is like, yes, I understand I'm still dependent to you and you do help me, but it's like I am an adult now. I do have my own life that I live that's separate from you, and I think learning to not seek your parents' approval in all circumstances is going to be one of the best decisions you can make, depending on what kind of decisions you like to make.
That is true.
Because some of y'all out here making some decisions maybe that could use a second or third opinion.
Yeah, or some professional help, rather.
But I think when it comes to things like maybe you want to change your major, maybe the ideas your parents had that you used to be so easily influenced by when you were younger, they don't have as much significance to you now, and you want to make your own decisions. Feel free to make those decisions. Understand that you may lose the support of your parents, depending on who your parents are.
Yeah, definitely.
But those decisions are things that will affect you in the long term, and those should be your own decisions, not ones that are necessarily approved by your parents. And I think one of the things I've learned is to not even seek the opinion of my mom or my brother or my dad or whatever about the decisions I made, because I was constantly feeling deterred from them, despite the fact they don't even know anything about the decisions I would make. So it's like I would ask their opinion and be like, wait, I mean, do they even know what I don't know. Do they even know what I want to do? They don't know the passions I have. They don't know so it's just understanding that your decisions are your own. Yeah. Don't let other people influence you, even if you love them very dearly. It doesn't matter. It's your life. So, yeah.
I will say with the changing majors thing, when I was doing that, I definitely went to my mom, because I feel like my mom is very honest with me. So going to her, she was like, see, I can't make this decision for you. You have to make this decision for you, because I don't want there to be a time where you come back and you looking back at it and it's like, well, I only did this because you told me to.
That's a great, I feel like that's a great answer for her to make, because it's like, at the end of the day, this is your decision. But if she would have been like, if you were very adamant about being a mass media major and she was like, I mean, they don't make money, or they like any kind of, she doesn't know about mass media majors. Maybe she does, but like if she didn't and she was just like deterring you from making that decision, I think it would maybe affect like your school experience if you would have stuck in CS. Or
I probably would have dropped out because honestly, being in those classes, I was very stressed out. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was not understanding calculus. Note that I never took a pre-cal or any type of math in my life.
Trigonometry do not
I like trig.
It does not prepare you for calculus.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, definitely not.
I was like, oh my God.
What was the term? I can't remember.
Okay.
But it was those, like, I really appreciate my parents for that, because it's like, they did not set us up to where it's like, oh, the world is going to bow down at your feet. Everything is going to go so smoothly. It's like, you're going to have decisions. You're going to have to make those tough decisions at the end of the day. And it's like you said, like, my parents treat us like adults for the most part. So it's like, they talk to us like adults. They treat us like adults. And it's like, look, I'm here for you always, but at the end of the day, I'm going to support you no matter what. But these are the decisions that you have to make.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that.
I think that's a really positive like way to parent your kids who are adults, because like, it is your decisions. I mean, your parent is supposed to teach you how to make it through life and
I think they did that.
Yeah, but it's like at a certain point, it's like, you got to get out the nest. You got to be able to make your own decisions. But there are parents who are very controlling, who they're never content with what their kid does unless they're like,
controlling it.
Yeah. So it's
really just important to recognize like your worth, your goals, your passions. You understand them more than anybody else. So
guys, just to recap, everybody ain't your friend. Prioritize your classes if you're gonna be here, because you're here for a reason. Do not lose sight of that, because at the end of the day, you're here to graduate. You're here to come and to go. You're not here to be a 10-year senior. Like,
oh, come on, name his name. Say his name, girl. Say his name, because I'm tired of seeing this on campus.
I'm tired of it,
I'm ready to graduate, so I don't have to see him, because I know he's going to be here next year.
Girl, going to be here the year. When our kids come, he'll be here.
Yeah. Oh, my kids ain't coming here.
Mine ain't either. I hope not. I hope they don't be like, oh, mommy went here. I want to go too. No. Let's get you something better, because this ain't it. Late nights, make sure you just get yourself on a good schedule if you must, because honestly, with late nights for me and my conditions, it messed my body up. So treat yourself good, make sure you go out when necessary, live your life, but also
be smart.
Yes,
be smart with your decisions.
If you gonna go out here and do what it do, if you know what I mean, be safe. If you want a boyfriend or a girlfriend, take your time.
Please take your time.
Do not jump into this junk. It is.
You do not want to waste your time on somebody who is temporary while you have things that are going to affect you in the long run. And
because literally, please use rubber, please.
Get on some kind of birth control
if you have to. Like, literally, just please be safe, because
it's free in your clinic at your university, so just go there, get some free condoms. They hand them out like candy canes here.
Exactly.
On Christmas,
because candy canes aren't always
right.
They're seasonal.
So candy. Mental health and depression. Use resources. Mental health. They got counselors at our school.
Yes.
Use them if you need to. Find you a trusting friend.
There's sliding scale therapy. So if you don't make a high income, you can always try to find a way to get one that fits with your income. I know you're a college student, so you maybe have like an on-campus job. There are ways you can find a therapist with that budget.
Yes. Join organizations if you have to. Network, get involved. Lastly, living the life that you want. We obviously just went on a rant. So just make the decisions that you want, that you feel are best for you and your life, because you only got one life to live, so you might as well live it up.
Well, I mean,
make decisions you're going to be comfortable with in the next 50 years.
But
yes, guys, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank Tiffany for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
But you guys, y'all can join me and whoever else is coming next week on DBYT, and we are out. Okay. So that was the end of that episode.
That's all we have for today. I want to thank everybody for listening. Y'all can follow me on my personal Instagram page at _Sanai, that's SENIH, or at DBYT Productions, that's the podcasting page. Always grateful for y'all listening and coming to support me every step of the way, even when I kind of go ghost. Life happens. But if you have any topics, suggestions, comments, or questions, feel free to hit me up on social media. You can tune in next week where we'll be discussing a all new topic with all new guests, because y'all know how we do. But that's all we have for this week. I'm Taisha, and I promise I won't bite my tongue.